Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles here on KwingsLetsPlays, brought to you by Capcom, who provide a copy of this game for review, walkthrough, and live streaming purposes. So, yesterday was a cliffhanger where we kind of caught the Shakespearean guy in a lie. And also, I have a little announcement, guys. There is a brand new series that's starting up tonight, which will be for a Marvel mobile game. Which actually released today, and I'll be doing that live for about, I'm hoping I can get an hour and a half to 2 hours off my phone, but that's going to be really all dependent on how much battery is in my phone. But actually, it looks like a really cool game, so we'll be checking it out together, you and I, later tonight. That will be your evening stream today. After this stream is, of course, another Bowser Jr. thing, which I think we're actually getting near the end of that game, because, well, we've been doing it a little bit longer than most people have when they've done their uploaded series. And today we'll probably conclude the case of Soseki-san again, Natsumi. So, without further ado, it's time to jump into the case itself. And also, guys, there was a awesome YouTube short that went up. I know that there's a glitch today where the trailer isn't showing the right one. It's showing you the trailer from yesterday. So hopefully I can get that corrected when I set up the next stream for later tonight. But thank you so much as always for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And it's time for the live LP to continue with Shamspeer. So now we are in the questioning section of this stuff. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. Hold it! Hold it! I understand that you already acquainted with Mr. Natsumi, is that correct? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I can know, that thy destiny mingles with mine. What? You lost me at the first thee? Zounds, sir. Thou must learn English tongue afore thou turns thy hand to lawyering. I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture. Okay. Verily and in truth, 'twas a fine-flavored brew, though a drop of poison did bob its sweetness, as the thorn doth bob the sweet rose. That, dear friends, be the simple truth.
Listen to Mr. Shamspeer. He seems in even better form than he was yesterday.
Either that, or I'm in worse form. That fated evening after I did dine, at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, not did I pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first. Okay, if you say so. 'Twas my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison into. Hang on a second. Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your cup? To have witnessed the act and then drank the tea, thou dost describe the actions of a fool. Yes, quite so, quite so. But no one likes going thirsty, do they? Oh, excuse me. Sooner would I die, quenched from parched, would I have the choice? Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, was it not? Oh, were it not for the tea in sooth, I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched. Right, no ice coins means no heating. The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shamspeer, as to whether the accursed drank any of the tea to which he brought with him. With the greatest of pleasure, my liege. Okay. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate... Hold it! Hold it! Hang on. But the teacup Mr. Natsumi drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim, drink tea while it's hot. I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain I did knock the fellow's cup and its contents, spilt as blood from a gaping wound, methinks. Thou certainly 'twas after I made the coins of ice from his tea. The unsipped cup was found. Cup of tea was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. There is no more contraction here. A contradiction.
It's true. There was no tea left in the cup that we found at the scene earlier. But still, something about this statement is troubling me, Ryunosuke.
Yes, of course. I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsumi's wise drink tea while it's hot, isn't it?
No, I'm not sure that's it at all.
Oh. Alright, thank you, witnesses. Now reiterate for the court what it is that occupied you after your guest had left and before you drank your tea. Okay. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus 'tis no surprise that the poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. Molds of soap. When we departed by and by, I need to question this one. My bad.
Hold it!
Yeah, so you could cheat the gas company, in fact, isn't that right? To cheat or to die. 'Tis life's only choice. Yeah! Okay. Faith to cheat be wise choice, and mine occupation, but not an ugly one. Prithee, dost thou not see beauty in the simplicity of the ruse?
No, I don't. And be very sure, sir, once this trial is over, Altamont Gus will take you to task over this legal task.
I shall not run, I shall not hide. Sooth to say, I have nowhere to run nor to hide. But, my lady, would thou with this pitiful player?
Oh, I'll tell you what I'd like to do with you, starting with the shoddy shirt on your back.
'Tis time for Shamspeer to dance! Dance.
What a harsh world we live in, Ryunosuke.
I don't care. The thieving of the gas was addressed in yesterday's proceedings. The prosecution calls on the defense not to muddy the waters with irrelevancy. Consider that a warning, counsel. Yes, my lord. Why am I the one in trouble here? Mr. Shamspeer, after the accused returned to his own lodgings, you used this time to make your coins with his tea, correct? Is that not right? To cheat or to die, I did make my choice many moons ago. Thus 'tis no surprise that the poison be found, blah 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 blah. Hold it! Hang on a sec there. If having first made your special coins, it was after 2 in the morning when you collapsed, correct? That would mean you can't have drunk any tea yourself till around that time. Once ensnared by literary debate, naught else be found in furrows of mind. The debate about Romeo and Juliet, you mean, and who was stronger of the two? Rightly did I pay no heed to the tea as I wrestled with the abominable fellow. I don't remember debates like that when I was studying English. Are you suggesting that neither of you actually drank the tea whilst it was hot that evening? My lord, wouldst thou be privy to some Shamspearean wisdom? Husband, wife, and tea ought to be
tepid, meaning like lukewarm. He thinks it should be tepid, not hot or cold. Yes, so very true. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to tea, Ryunosuke.
I think you might have interpreted that wrongly. Has she? Alright, so it's been proven that there's no poison in Natsumi's tea. That would be hugely in our favor. But the atmosphere in this courtroom today...
Oh, it feels as though everybody is against us, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry.
And did we advertise or no?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And 4, I can just check again.
It must be the Reaper's poison, then. Sorry, sweetie.
Oh, I'm afraid that if we don't find a significant flaw in his testimony somewhere, the jury will pronounce and find Mr. Natsume guilty.
Oh, noes! It really feels like we've jumped into the fire here.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
shared.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. So we have to press him on something.
When he departed, by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup. Great to see you guys in the chat. Hi, Billy. Hello, Timmy. And hey, Drago. Great to see you, VG Shine. How's it going?
Oh! Wait.
When backed into a corner dance. Pro tips, says VG Shine.
Yeah. He's saying, whilst feigning distraction in our debate, but that's not true, because if they both drank their tea at a later time, they would both have the remains of tea. Because I actually, when I drink my tea, I do it slowly. Like, when I'm done, there's always a ring left.
Great to see you, Ethan, and Total Spies fan, and everyone, Judd.
But if you were drinking tea hot, it wouldn't leave. Yeah, it wouldn't leave anything left. It wouldn't leave any stains.
So somebody's tea did leave a ring.
Yeah, this guy's tea left a ring because he drank it later. This one drank his tea right away. Or if they both drank at the same time, then both teas would have the ring. That's what I'm going with. Survey says... Objection! You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question. But that's impossible. How? What is this, ye dark-clad fiend? My costume has nothing to do with this. The 2 teacups from the scene, once used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrivable proof. In what now?
Incontrovertible proof?
Yes, that word. What difference does that make? Whatever. Look at the inside of the teacups here, just to clarify a visible ring. You see it? What of it? Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur all readily when one leaves tea in a cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good Lord, you're right. It's completely clean. And prithee, sir, what mask thou it? Makest of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday, the Japanese saying he quoted. Drink tea while it's hot.
That's right.
That's correct. Yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time at all. Oh. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well, after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspeer, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to...
A nunnery.
A nunnery? What?
A nunnery!
Oh, okay. Speaking of drinking...
It's just a thing in Shakespeare.
As a rule, I will fill my hollow chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself, Mr. Drunkard.
Yeah, hello, Fernando. Hi, Oichi, Christina.
Yet, on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intend to, until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. Fickleness. To William Shamspeer. Yes, my liege. Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? Oh. A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. No, he would have taken the teapot with him. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What?
Huh?
Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lol, when I looked it was empty, and thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection.
No, you didn't. And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Right.
Huh?
Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection.
Stop badgering my witness. People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend. This is not perjury, he just forgot, which is why we rely on evidence instead. What? But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that has bewitched this courtroom. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts, I suppose. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words... There goes my cape. Now we get serious. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! What does this mean, then?
I do declare, it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony.
Well, apart from a bit of thieving gas, obviously.
Eh?
My lords and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at the Grub's Grubbery alehouse that night, shameless plug, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given to me by the Japanese, whose backs be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as wouldst be called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad.
Huh?
As insurpulous a menu as the establishment where it was served. But gods will give us some faults not to make us men. Willingly I would suffer that punishment, 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas, but I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another!
Huh?
What? Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeer doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins.
My lord!
If I may speak with me lord. Yes, what is it, Mr. Foreman? Let me guess, all guilty once again. I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer once again. By me?
I do declare, you may be right.
We all know Wraith there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer that says he's stealing gas he deserves to dose the poison, eh? He's been leading up to this garden path and that's what he's doing. I really never said anything like that, but that will just be, but what we just heard from the victim, that was opened our eyes yet again. And we've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. No. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings. What? Not again? You can't say... What? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now. Oh boy.
Guilty. 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 Guilty.
Guilty. Nuts. Well, that happened again. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord yet again. Oh, happy day! Stop dancing, you freak. How is this happening?
Oh my gosh.
My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination again. Very well, why not? The circus is never gonna end anyway. The court upholds the defense's right yet again. Typical, my learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth in front of his eyes. The trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you once again to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of crimes of which he is charged. Okay then. Back and forth and back and forth. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions. I'm a man of logic, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
I do agree that the gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal gas, it is.
Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. My gosh.
If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Wait, why did the queen lady go guilty? Never mind. It doesn't make any sense to me. I do feel that perhaps a personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind.
The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped.
Uh-oh.
And Mr. Shamspeer was poisoned. There could be no doubt of that.
Then how are we supposed to turn this around?
Poison himself. I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspeer was actually poisoned then. Our only hope is to demonstrate to the court incontrovertibly that, Ryunosuke.
But that's surely almost impossible at this stage.
If we don't manage it though, Mr. Natsumi
will be found guilty and go to jail. Alright, no delays, Consul. Proceed with the summation examination if you please. Oh boy. Hello again. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal. I'm a man of logic. Having already considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I don't want to press you.
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. Huh?
This isn't the time or place to be discussing the price of gas, madam.
Oh, but really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas. Air is free. Why should ultimate gas cost money?
Because it's a... Never mind.
Because it makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever.
This isn't the time or place to be ruthless either.
If I might interject here.
Yes, madam. Go for it.
It seems my fellow juror takes the issue with the price our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, what a beastly man. What an unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable.
You got the wrong guy.
What?
No. Mr. Natsumi isn't the one who's stealing gas. I'll thank you not to be adding on more crimes, thank you very much.
Mr. Natsumi hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas.
Okay, well that was useless. The stuff explodes and can poison you. Hold it. Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas every time. You'd take poison? What I mean is, poison can be only poisoning you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man.
Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison can't light or heat up a room either. Ah! You're right! I hadn't considered that at all. What?
Young lawyer man.
Yes, ma'am. What is it?
You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative.
Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Okay! Anyway, the point is I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past.
You have a new job, Ryunosuke.
Hey, there you go, consultant.
Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain all those pipes.
Hold it!
Hang on a second. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas?
There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so.
She's really buzzing now.
All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted, What about that? A little explosion here, there's nothing in comparison.
An explosion? Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. I agree.
My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know.
More devious? Who, madam?
Other gas companies, of course.
Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting.
We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Outermost is an exemplary gas company as far as I'm concerned.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all.
My word! What? But if they didn't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people?
You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and they sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes.
Nicely done, Amber. I'm getting chills.
Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes and take our money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing.
The cads!
They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks.
What's going on with you, guy? What's going on, sir? Do you have something you want to say about that, juror number 3?
Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I'm just thinking to myself, really.
I really did catch him off guard there, didn't I? Haha. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct?
Well, yes. I get a little riled about it recently, you see.
Go on.
An ultimate gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipework. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check for your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he said?
I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us.
Yep.
He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it.
What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away our company's secrets there.
Oh, please, everybody knows, but it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you.
What do you mean?
I'll explain, if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yeah, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it?
Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
I see. In other words, if upon blowing into a pipe, the lights of the adjacent property has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell.
Seriously?
It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker.
The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait! You mean... That's right. The lights didn't just flicker, they went out. Along with the stove, gas started pouring into the house.
What a disaster!
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then, when the gas starts flowing again, it silently seeps into the room.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps,
Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. It is? Juror number 3. The defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
Oh, well, if you'd like, I don't mind.
Well, I do! That's our company's secret method of identifying gas thieves!
Like I said, madam, it's widely known already.
How dare you!
Very well, juror number 3. You'll amend your statement accordingly, if you please.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of this is, but...
May I explain something to people who don't know anything about gas stoves?
Go for it.
Alright, just if you guys are wondering, like, probably everyone knows this, but you guys know that, like, natural gas, stoves, or heat, if you blow the fire out for a second, then you'll have gas pouring into your house, and the flame is what keeps the gas burning. So if you blow it out, then the flame is out and the gas is pouring into your house. And, like, if it keeps pouring in, then it will give you a huge headache, cause you to fall asleep, poison you, and if you light a match, it will explode.
Oh my gosh.
So, just FYI, like, it's really bad if you blow the pilot light out. I'm just letting anyone know. So that's kind of what they're talking about. Like, Mr. Natsume keeps falling asleep. It's possible this other guy blew into his pipe and blew the gas out of his room from the other apartment.
Oh my gosh.
He doesn't even have to leave his apartment to blow Mr. Natsume's gas pipe. He could just do it every day at the same time. Just keep
So the
blowing
strangling sensation that's happening is because there is a gas leak in a sense.
Yeah, he's like blown. So he's feeling.
He's trying to kill him.
If anybody has ever had a gas leak in their house,
I have.
you will have your whole head and your whole body. You'll start to feel angry, upset, anxious.
Yep.
And like your entire head feels like it's being squeezed, and you feel like kind of nauseous. You feel like you need to go outside because you need to breathe air, and you start getting these massive headaches. Like eventually you'll die. Like it's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm done.
Well
That's
done,
my
Amber.
Explanation.
Great job.
Thanks.
Blow
Amber.
too hard in a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house. And then you're in real trouble.
Hold it!
When you say extinguish everything in the house, do you mean even on a different floor?
Oh yes, all floors are connected to the same pipe after all.
Well done, Amber.
I did.
Well done.
And yeah, you're right. It does make you lightheaded, soul flare. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's true of every building. Because gas supply contracts are issued for whole properties, you see. It's quite simple, really.
My wife is so smart. Well, I had no idea that it was possible to extinguish gas appliances simply by blowing down the pipe.
Thanks, Goki. Thanks, Luke. It's not something we like to publicize, to be honest. But we have to carry out these investigations, as I'm sure you can appreciate.
Indeed. It has been mentioned on more than one occasion, in the papers even.
Is that so? It's been mentioned to me, too, very recently. An incident involving the gas stove going out inexplicably, almost leading to someone's death.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes, it's finally starting to fall into place, Susie. The secret link that joins all these strange occurrences into one.
Yes! Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Truth be told, the tea me wife serves up is a little sketchy.
You're gonna...
You mean it's poisoned? That's right. It's happened a tidy few times now. This is most troubling indeed, juror number 5.
His wife is trying to kill him.
It's always the days like this one when I don't get any me wages. I'll get it in that tea, you see. And see her doing it, me wife. So she gets this devilish look on her face and then slips some white powder into me cup.
Oh my god!
And you drink it anyway? I was brought up proper. I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was awful. Believe me, salty as heck.
Maybe she just put salt in your tea.
I think you need to understand she put salt in your tea to make it bitter.
Everyone's just
Why
like...
is everyone in my courtroom an imbecile?
I think perhaps that your wife, what she put in your tea was salt, sir.
No! So, she doesn't even care to poison me properly. Unbelievable, that wife of mine.
She didn't try to poison him. She was just mad.
Let's move on. You could just say that your wife is a bit, salty, sir. I made her funny in my courtroom.
If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, then there's obviously no explanation, is there? Ah!
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you change your leaning?
Huh? Sorry? What was that now? Huh?
Oh, I was just saying if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night.
What's the matter with you?
Sorry?
I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation. Haven't you been listening to me at all?
I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here.
Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all. It would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently.
I suppose. The trouble is,
He has selective hearing.
That's you.
Oh, that's me. Darn it.
Yes, my name's not Susie.
He has selective hearing?
Exactly. But still,
I'm sorry.
It's fine. This juror may well be the key to breakthrough that we are so desperately in need of. Okay. Ugh, this is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people.
VG Shine says, I'm so glad all my stuff is electric then. Yeah. Electric stove are kind of safer.
They just smell bad.
Except for, I don't really like our electric stove because it smells really bad.
Yeah, and it sets off the smoke alarm sometimes.
Yeah, electric stoves can't fill your house with gas, though.
Unless you have, like, an electric stove that's, like, a flat top, and then you're fine, but apparently landlords don't like people using that kind.
I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamspeer was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way, and not via Mr. Natsumi's tea.
Interesting. Yeah, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen.
Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten.
Huh? Like what? What did I forget?
It's important to watch everyone involved. and pursue people even if they react to something that somebody else says. If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course, by doing a tutorial again.
Once again, Natsumi's face is entirely in my hands here. Probably owe it to my client to hear any advice my assistant may be able to offer. So perhaps I ought to let Susie remind me, then again? Refresh your memory. Sure, why not?
When a particular juror is talking, the other jurors will be listening naturally. Most of the time, when people are speaking themselves, they are careful not to give away more than they want to. But when they're listening to others speak, they tend to be less guarded.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, if you see people reacting strangely in an unguarded moment, you must pursue them to find out why. Here, take a look at this, Mr. Naruhodo. When you press jurors about their assertions, a marker appears in the center of the screen. Using the arrow keys, you can move the marker and see how other jurors are reacting to what is being said. And if you find a particular juror seems to be reacting oddly, you can pursue him or her about it. By catching people off guard, you may be able to glean new and potentially useful information.
That's right, I've got it. Press and then see if something odd happens. Alright. Yeah, okay, this is just a tutorial. Pursue the juror. Okay, thank you, Susie.
Maybe we'll try pressing everybody and then, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll do this guy.
Hold it!
And then we'll see if there's an exclamation.
All the evidence, you say? That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing to the Japanese man with a big mustache. Ah, says the Englishman with a bigger mustache.
Should we see if anyone... Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind.
If only we had that kind of evidence.
Don't worry, that summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Let's hope so.
To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock.
I noticed that juror number 3...
Blow too hard and the gas pipe will extinguish.
He mentioned something. And then this guy over here.
Nothing else past the victim's lips that night. There's no other explanation, is there?
Let me save. But I think if I press juror number 3 and juror number 6, something might happen. That's my guess. If not, then I'll press juror number 3 and juror number 4.
Soul Flare is saying, show the photo with the handprints to juror 6.
Try this and this.
Alright, thanks Soul Flare. We'll try that when we get a chance. Thank you so much.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious! Whose statements you refer, Consul? Juror number 6, did you hear that juror number 3 just said?
What? Oh, yeah, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other.
The lucky guess works. There's another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsumi's tea did in manner of speaking... Something besides Mr. Why? Something besides Mr. Natsumi's tea did in the manner of speaking past the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation? What?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall at the scene of the crime? To see if there was any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. Hang on. What a piece of work! This is a man. What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeer? What speakest thou? Prithee, is not strange and strange? That is what to say to thee, sir? What? Though I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall of the lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body. Good lord, man!
Strychnine from the
Wait,
gas?
what?
Are they tasty than gas pipes? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, or is the gentleman suggested that the poor man was so desperately hungry, he tried to fill his belly with gas. Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him.
For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
He's angry. He's the Joker.
This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of the learned Japanese friend's conjecture. Ah, man! I lost track of the models. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have had to be a contortionist. These are simply empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say. Hang on a second. It's true I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeer put his lips on the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeer has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. Ow! And I have the evidence to prove it! What? Alright. Alright, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself.
So would I. Let's see this evidence then.
Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is a proof that the time and time again Mr. Shamspeer stood in front of his gas lamp. We had a...
Oh yeah, the wall prints, the handprints.
Yep.
The handprints, and that's why he actually put the handprints there and he opened up the pipe and blew into it. It's so weird.
I think you're right. Boom.
Take that!
What the?
These are... wait. What are they called again? Ah, yes. Skin prints that were found at the scene. Skin prints, counsel? I've never heard of such things.
Fingerprints.
The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in the court, however.
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It reveals all the places that Mr. Shamsford has touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's black magic, isn't it?
Yeah, what? Well, if anyone could admit something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating.
Right. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect, but on the table, the costumes, things like that. However, Mr. Shamspeer also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here. Around the hanging picture there, indeed multiple handprints appear to be visible. Right.
Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork then, perhaps?
At first, my colleagues and I had the same thought. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... Oh my goodness!
I don't believe it! The gas lamp!
Dun dun dun! Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspeer has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp. Right, what have you been up to, you nut? I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement, if you please.
Me? What did I say?
You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you recall juror number 3's statement... What? Me now? What'd I do? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out, and the gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, isn't that incident... Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is... If Mr. Shamspeer here would have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey!
Oh, you're suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to,
Objection! Now I'm very upset that I must drink my crimson liquid. Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Dracula? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. Ah! Certainly, even in research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes, cannot be recognized by the court as full evidence at this time. But...
That's not fair. Please, my lord, if I may.
Miss Susie?
It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the result of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Blessed!
And if the trial were come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has seen now. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree.
What? Hold it!
You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide.
Juror number 3!
Oh yes, I do declare. The great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what the shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints. Yes.
Well, that's 2.
Oh.
Wow. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
Well, I did say, didn't I? I don't like to break a promise.
Now, wait a second, your lordship. It's not fair to even... Oh, blast.
I made my decision.
Well,
There we
bother.
go.
And just like that, the scale of justice is even. Well done, Susie.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
Me? I didn't do anything. That was you, Susie.
Oh, thanks, Naruhodo. If just one more juror exchanges his or her mind, Mr. Natsumi's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Miss Susie, but I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success, Ryunosuke.
Oh! Why, Mr. Shamspeer, you seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it!
Very well. Continue, Consul. I'm a man of logic, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing to that Japanese man with the big moustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger moustache. But the defense has demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? What? Your so-called skin prints, was it?
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeer has indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe in the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was from. Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But, as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides... Huh? Yes? Even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh? If you can make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You make a very valid point, sir.
What?
That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No, wait!
Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Haha.
Just leave our nationality out of this, please.
Thank you. Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back.
Oh, what can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? I can show that Mr. Shamspeer really did blow down on the gas pipe. I can...
Shamspeer. I can
present evidence. I have supporting testimony.
Oh, let me just see what the chat says, sorry.
Let's save.
Alright, does anyone have any ideas? I'm guessing I can...
Oh my gosh, I have a title.
Okay. Luke is gonna add a title.
Give people a chance to think.
Great to see you guys. Ethan, Candle in the Dark. Hello, Scientist Squid. Great to see you, Nana Kiamano. Hello, Soul Flare. Hey, Fernando. Hi, Shayana. Great to see you, OH. And, hi, Battle Guy Plays. Hey, Totally, Spies. Testimony. People are saying testimony or witnessed. Save! Troggle saying save.
Yeah,
Testimony or witness.
That's terrible. But, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Part 28. Resolve, Passing Bad Gas, Case number 7.
People want to see that. They want to hear, Natsumi's testimony. They think we should present Natsumi's testimony.
I have supporting testimony. Okay, we'll do that one. That's funny.
Oh my gosh. What did you change the title to?
Passing Bad Gas.
Oh my gosh.
No, in truth, I don't have the evidence to support my theory. However, there is the witness testimony that substantiates it.
What's that?
What testimony are you talking about?
This is incredible. Whose testimony?
Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Garada residence that night, namely is Mr. Japanese Man.
Mr. Natsume!
That's right. Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Natsumi himself. The defendant? That's right. At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsumi said the following. My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my home!
Yep.
Even on the fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shamspeer's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me!
Wow.
On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Oh, good golly!
So that Shamspeer fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Now hold your horses there. What would you do that for? Mr. Foreman. What is it, man? We cannot allow the judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. Fair enough. Like I said to the outset, I'm a man of logic first and foremost. The trial will continue. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls on the trial to continue. Ooh, very nice. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of the jurors alerting their decisions.
Oh, wow.
2 jury members now called guilty, 4 now called not guilty.
Oh.
Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial.
Ooh.
All right, then.
Christina says this is she said this case is exciting and the crime. Wait, this case is fascinating. The game is afoot. That's right, Christina.
Mr. William Shamspeer. My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeer serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? So God mend me, I do solemnly swear, I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. Boy, your handprints are made tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh?
That's right.
I am done with these. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already, juror number 5. Oh, me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at this time unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection.
Hold on a second there, Drac. But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the lamp in Mr. Shamspear's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there...
Objection.
What are you talking about? It appears to be extremely simple, is my Nipponese friend's mind. You'll recall that in order to check the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yeah, so...
So what?
Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if the poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. Oh, I didn't think of that.
Oh, wow.
In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you described. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived?
Because he wanted the guy's room.
There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Whoa!
Whoa, Ryunosuke!
Order! Counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end? The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mystery thus far.
Natsume.
Mr. Shamspeer wanted to end the life of...
Mr. Natsume.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to him.
I was just thinking, what if he knocked him out with gas and then came into his room to strangle him after he was knocked out?
No.
Just the gas.
The gas would do it.
Wow.
He didn't see an assailant. He was in his bed.
Oh my gosh.
Also, the other guy died from mysterious causes in the room before him.
Oh my gosh.
And if
That's
Mr.
insane.
Shamspeer lived there prior to Natsume moving in, then that means Shamspeer killed the other guy too.
Yeah, you're right.
Take that.
You're right, Luke.
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course.
Tara Ann says to kill Natsume to get his room.
But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live around those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without a stove lid is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspeer was trying to end. Outrageous! Right. I'm talking, of course, about the defendant.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim of this man trying to be murdered. Good gracious!
Oh!
Objection.
Sorry.
The accused is actually the aggrieved? What? Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there. What? Who did put it there? Oh no.
I don't know.
The only logical conclusion is that same person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply with his intent to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. And the assailant were unaware he or she would have known to lace the end of the pipe with poison. So now we must ask, how could anyone have known Mr. Shamspeer's murderous designs?
Ah, do you mean to suggest?
Naturally, yes. The sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was clearly a retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Natsume. No!
Actually, there's one other person who could have put it there.
Whatever Mr. William Shamspeer may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetrated the attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume.
Huh. Eh?
The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, woof, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? Nani!
Oh yeah, you're right, Droggle. It could have been the gas company people putting the poison on him.
Oh my god.
Because they were so mad at him stealing it. Maybe they just wanted him to die because he was taking all their money.
Oh my gosh. Woo! All right. How did they manage to turn that around on me so quickly? The Reaper of the Bailey.
Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond.
Why?
Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. This may be our last chance to gain the advantage, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, fine. What advantage?
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeer's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt.
You mean name the true culprit?
I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all.
As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison. It's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly. Objection! What now? There is one other... Wow. Sorry. There's one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. Joys of live streams. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? What are you speaking of, boy? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on as far long already. I see no reason to cut short before its disappointing climax. Thank you, I think.
I guess.
Tell us, my learned friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime?
Why are people saying Olive Green? Why would she do it?
I mean...
Oh! Because of her...
fiancé.
It could have been
She also
her.
would have actually gone to that apartment from time to time because that's where he lived. I'm gonna say Olive Green. Everybody has the consensus for Olive Green. Well, let's go.
Alright, I guess we'll do it.
Take that!
The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeer is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green? I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Consul, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green, the woman from 6 days ago? The victim in the recent case of the stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsumi was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green, the stabbing victim. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. And I hardly need to remind the court that Mr. Shamspeer's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have been a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in the hospital unconscious. So, on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in the hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there's another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamspeer. My lord, pray what be thy bidding? Are you acquainted with Miss Green, perhaps? Eh? No, never heard of her.
Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspeer's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her, at least. Not by name, at least.
As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Japanese friends fast through to its conclusion. Huh? I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green, very well. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well, I grant the request then. Excellent. I hope. The defense has a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his capabilities remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, consuls. We'll reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned.
Okay. Man.
Woo.
I just don't want it to be olive green. I want it to be that bee lady.
You want the bee lady?
Yeah, why not? If I was her, I would poison it. I think I was stealing her money. She would just go in there, put poison, and be like, oops.
Oops.
Well, I guess I won't be losing any money from this apartment anymore.
Yeah, something like that. An oops there.
That's what I would have... Oh, I mean,
Alright. Let's handle... Because this will be at least like 5-6 minutes.
I don't want it to be Miss Green. She has to live her life.
Yeah.
She couldn't have killed the guy. She's so sweet.
Joyful, jubilant, jumping jacks!
Oh, Mr. Natsume! I'm so pleased for you.
Lockroom student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, and non-lockroom judicial assistant, Miss Mikatoba Esquire. Now finally, at long last, there can be proof. Proof that I'm innocent, and proof that my tea is innocent. Good morning, my dear fellows. Herlock Shomes! May you drink my tepid tea and fall forever silent. I thought the tea was innocent.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came! How wonderful!
Please, save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says, when it's very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. Sleeping late is fine. The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day sleep seduced me last night, or so I thought. Tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll arise early and be present in court to support my companions. Such spirited determination has a beauty all its own, does it not?
Oh, yes!
And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep, I queried.
What?
Queried.
Queried? Oh. Why do people oversleep? I sleep.
Queried.
Yeah. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. It was so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter? Ha 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 ha.
Oh, yes, that's magnificent.
Upon one... wow, these old English ways of speaking, tongue-tied. Upon which realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all last night. And the results?
You slept in.
By the first light, I was exhausted and began to be assaulted by fits of drowsiness.
Shocking.
And so the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential.
Yeah, I think most of us probably already knew that already, Holmes.
What other purpose? I proved by experimentation that by my dear fellow is a scientific method. Ah, yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this?
Ah!
Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to...
It was a laborious task as the bottle was near empty, but such inconveniences do not hinder the great Herlock shows. I managed to confirm that it contains strychnine.
Oh,
wow.
There it is. So I was right.
Perhaps, though, of course, such circumstantial evidence doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended.
The bottle of poison has been entered into the court record.
I was thinking maybe she tried to drink it herself and then she decided, nope, I'm not going to drink this myself. I'm going to kill that guy.
I have a theory. May I present it?
Present it.
Okay, so Mr. Natsumi was in jail. The day before, 3 days before her stabbing, when he was arrested for the stabbing incident, the reason why she was on Briar Road is she was inside of the guy's apartment, and to get revenge, she laced the pipe with strychnine. Then, as she was leaving the apartment, the knife fell into her back, and Mr. Natsumi was coming home, and the scene happened. Mr. Natsumi was in jail for several days, so there would be no reason for Shamspeer to try to kill him. As soon as he returned, as soon as Natsumi came back and was living in his house again, Shamspeer began blowing on the pipes again to kill Natsumi in order to get to his room. That's what I am theorizing.
So both Ms. Green and Natsumi missed a couple of days, and then when they went back to normal, the guy tried to kill him again, and there was poison there.
So the reason why he didn't die is because the poison had time to dissipate.
Yeah.
Because it would actually have to be ingested, because that's what strychnine is. There you go. That's my Batman detective skills at work. Could I have a word?
Oh, Gregson, how good of you to come, good sir. Yes, whatever.
Forget it. Excuse me. Wait a minute, Inspector. It's probably important what you have to say.
Soulflare said, that's it.
I don't wish to make a nuisance of myself.
From the look of your face, I say it's someone else you think is making a nuisance of himself.
My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend that I'm not here. Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me.
Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shamspeer's room?
Not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. No, I'm here about something else. The dead convict, actually.
Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shamspeer's room?
A man by the name of, yes, Selden.
I went through the archives at the yard and dug up out the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye.
Something caught your eye, Inspector? What?
Well, I've copied out the relevant parts for you, so you can read it yourselves.
Thank you very much. The capital offender's file has been entered into the court record.
These documentaries include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeer's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information. Wait, what?
Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though, Inspector? Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion.
Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful!
Ah, indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown.
A shining diamond in a rough, maybe. Look, I just do, want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. I like him. Gregson's fun. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way into the courtroom at once, please.
Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off, mind you, certainly not.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache and Flood of Tears, personally, so best of luck to you, Natsume.
Locked-up student, Mr. Naruhodou, Esquire! Yes, what is it, Mr. Natsume? It is time, isn't it? Yep, this is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shamspeer. This is going to be the final battle.
This is so stressful.
I know, right? I won't really have saved Sozeki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to.
Do this. I hope Olive Green didn't do it.
23rd of February, 12:30 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
I hope it was the rich gas lady.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session once again now.
Oh, they can't convict anyone of murder, whoever it is, because they didn't kill anyone. Okay, I'm done.
No, somebody was killed. The young man, the fiance.
Oh yeah, her fiance was killed. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Sorry.
All right. Uh-oh. And that's it, people. That's it.
Oh, why is it being weird?
We're dropping frames like crazy. That's it, that's all.
Oh.
Sorry.
Maybe because I said murder.
It might be. It might be. How soon has that been going on, people?
It's because I said something. As soon as I said that.
No, it's dropping frames like crazy. But we gotta.
I'm so sorry.
We gotta stop anyway.
Okay, guys. I guess we'll do the next one next time. We'll hear Olive Green's testimony next time.
We'll be doing the final trial tomorrow. We're at 1,000 drop frames though, so we gotta stop. Guys, when did this start though? Like the sputtering and all this other stuff. Yeah, we're losing viewers like crazy. All right, people. Thanks so much for watching. We will resume around 7:15, 7:30 with your next live stream. And we'll be concluding this trial tomorrow. There's probably a good, I don't know, I'd say an hour and a half left. There is another stream that'll be happening late tonight on a brand new game for Marvel, which is a mobile game that's actually in the vein of DC Universe Online. And the name of the game is called Marvel Revolution by Netmarble. So thanks for watching, people. See you guys in a bit with your next stream, which will be on Bowser Jr.'s Journey. Until then, thank you, Capcom, for providing a copy, and we'll see you all later with more of Ace Attorney tomorrow and another live stream after Mario and Luigi. Bye-bye!
Yep. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day. God bless. Happy gaming. See ya.